Hi guys, today I'm looking at WarioWare Get It Together. The WarioWare games, I vaguely remember playing the original on the GameCube one, which was Super Mini Game whatever. So I had kind of forgotten about it. I play these games at a friend's house. I'm not a super huge Nintendo guy, but one buddy is, so he owns every single Nintendo game. So he had this new WarioWare game on Switch, and it's a lot of fun. I kind of had forgotten about what WarioWare was and how it functions and what it does. And it's just a collection, for those of you who don't know about it, it's a collection of just, I would call rejected mini games that Nintendo has made over the years that they're like, well, what do we do with this one? And they just kind of turn it into a giant mini collection. And so the basic premise of WarioWare is that there's no real story. You just have different characters, different areas, and each character has a different area and different mini games associated with that area. And so it asks you to do certain things with the controller, while also kind of telegraphing to the player what kind of stance they have to take. So there's certain stances with the Wiimote, or sorry, the Switch motion controller, like the Switch mode. What do you even call those things? I guess the Switch mode that functions as a Wiimote. They use a lot of motion controls. Sometimes it'll use the actual functions on the controller itself. And yeah, for this kind of thing where it's a series of just mini games, all you have to do is essentially just very simple controls, lots of motion controls. Sometimes you'll use buttons, and so you'll have, I think every 10 mini games you'll have a boss, or 20 or so, and then after you beat that boss, you repeat a lot of those mini games, but they're faster. And then if you beat the next boss, you repeat those mini games, but they're faster and they're harder. Usually, if you had to plug two holes, you'd have to plug. If you had to plug one hole, you have to plug two now, for example. So it takes the same kind of mini game and just makes it more and more difficult. And so because I think it's a really a smart idea and concept that Nintendo, I guess, takes for this format, because WarioWare is just, it's a very silly experience. I think my favorite character is Jimmy T, who's like the dancing disco guy. You have Kat and Anna the ninjas. You have oh my god, Amanda, Angelica, the witch, Ashley the witch. And so the whole concept of this, I mean, Nintendo games are pretty child friendly, as compared to other games. But WarioWare is an absolute, just a silly experience. Like, it does not take itself seriously at all. Sometimes it's intentionally gross. Like, you have to do mini games where you pluck, nose hairs and things, and do stupid, weird, silly things. And it's actually a very fun party game if someone's never played it before, because there's absolutely ridiculous things that you're going to be forced to do that are just super crazy. What is interesting, though, is that most of the cast is the same from the original WarioWare game. And what is interesting, though, is that when you choose your character, one of the cast of, I don't know, there's maybe 12 or so, probably more. Each one has a different kind of function or way of moving around. So if you choose the UFO guy, who will like use his laser beams to grab things, and if you choose I forget her name, the girl on the flying scooter, you have a boomerang that you can select things. So each character kind of has their own movement style, and that does affect some of the mini games and the time in between each mini game. So that's I don't know, I really like it. I think it's a really cool mechanic, and it keeps things very fresh. Because whereas you would keep playing the same mini game over and over again, when you play as a certain character, then suddenly, oh, okay, this has a completely different way of playing. I can see why maybe this as a Nintendo game is maybe less popular than less known about or talked about than the other Nintendo IPs, simply because it's just very, very strange. And it kind of is self-aware of the kind of, I don't want to say low quality of its experiences, but these are just mini games. These are things like move the control stick and press A to turn a water wheel. Like, they're very, very basic, but what makes them fun is how ridiculous the setup is, and how they just make it very fast and intense. So you take like the most basic thing that barely constitutes a game, something like Angry Birds essentially, and you replicate that over dozens and dozens of iterations and permutations with really funny animations, characters. You jazz it up, and you basically polish up what essentially would be a very shallow, mobile game experience or something, and you turn it into a full-fledged thing where it keeps a lot of variety. And so that's kind of the essence of WarioWare, and here it's still just as potent, if not more so than it was beforehand. So it's a very fun, very silly game. It is co-op, of course. That's the main thing as a party game. So you have a second person who can do the motions together, and so you'll have to do it together and beat it together, or sometimes it'll be easy where only one of you has to hit the objective. And so you have 5 shared lives essentially, and you can fail 5 times. I think if you fail once and you get the next one, you keep that life, but if you fail twice in a row, then you lose that life. And you just keep going until you win or lose. And just the aesthetics of each one of these mini games is just absolutely ridiculous. And again, each area, each character has a certain style, a certain either gameplay thing or a cliche like space or horror or cute or whatever. So it's I don't know, it's a lot of fun. It's a very simple, very effective, very fun party game that's very easy to grasp. I did have some issue though, because maybe the Wiimote or the Switch controller that I had a little bit of a sensitivity issue, so sometimes it would not recognize exactly what I was doing for some of the stances, but overall that made it more fun because it was like I was playing at a handicap, so it made it even more ridiculous. Anyway, really great party game, very fun. Definitely recommend it if you're into weird, funny, wild stuff. I like this side of Nintendo quite a lot. I don't think it gets enough attention as the rest of its IP, but yeah. I'm glad that Wario at least has been taking this direction, because he kind of started out as a Tetris-ish kind of clone with a lot of Nintendo games, honestly, like Dr. Mario. And then he became Wario Land, which, kind of was its own spin-off of, Super Mario Bros. Well, the World Series of Mario Bros. 2, where you had to do more charging, and now Wario has found himself in this like wild, stupid, wacky minigame world, which I think is appropriate for his kind of place in the Mario universe. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got to say about it. You kind of, what you see is what you get with this one, and it's just a crazy fun, experience. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys later. Bye.